What's up, y'all? This is Dubitdown. So, I wrote some notes down, and I'll give you the title of this video. Will be called "A Good Tip for Indie Artists That Can Sell Their Own Music." And I haven't went over my notes, and I just did this a few minutes ago, so it might be a little rough between the lines, but we'll try to work with it and jump right into it. So what I did with my USB thumb drives, and if you want to see about what you can do with your music, you'll watch a few of my older videos about my how to sell on USB thumb drives, which I call portable radio. You can watch my older videos, but what I did is I brought my USB thumb drives up to the tobacco store, and I put them in a jar, and I printed two labels with pictures of the USBs on it with the words "Dub It Down," whole catalog, whole music catalog, 955 songs, and I printed two of the labels. I put one on each side of the jar, and then I put on the top of it parental advisory, and so that's what I did, and I brought them in there and talked to them, and I was like, what do you think about selling these? And we could split it 50-50. And I said, you can sell them for 100, and I can make them at my house. They cost $5 to buy at Walmart. And, I just talked to him for a few minutes when I brought the jar in there and presented it pretty nice to him as best as I could. That's how I presented my product, was in the jar with the labels on it on the sides, the parental advisory on the top, and then I had like four of them in there in the jar. I had four USB drives in there, which I have 10 in there now, but I had four to begin with, and so I was like just talking to them. I was like kind of you know if you want, we could kind of be partnerships in this. You know what I'm saying? And he was like, yeah, that sounds good. And he gave me the okay on it, so I left him there. And then eventually I brought some shirts I own from this clothing brand. I started a clothing brand apparel called CheckeredGooseApparel, and I had some shirts made, maybe a year or two ago, and they were just sitting there in the store I have at the antique mall. So I took some of them out, and then I brought them up there, and I told them, they sell a USB drive for 100, then they could give them a free T-shirt with each purchase of a USB drive. So I brought 10 shirts up there, and I brought 10 USB drives up there so far. And that would kind of bring in some more customers, and kind of hopefully I'll get some more sales like that way. But the last thing I did on this particular subject about bringing my music in there, the last thing I did was I had a stack of CDs at my house, an old stack of CDs that I made from my albums, because I used to try to sell them on eBay. So I had to stack about 75 CDs and that I made on my old albums from like album 1 to album 35. That's before I made all my 77 albums that I have now. I made about 35 at that time. So I printed them. Well, not printed them, but I burned them on the CDs. And then what I did is I ordered envelopes, and I ordered postcards of my album covers. And then I would slide a postcard in the envelope. And then what I did is I put my CD in there. I would put my burn disc in there, and then I would put my website label that I had little cards made, and I put my little label in there that shows you how to get to my website, and I put that in the envelope, and I told them, these will be free. You could just give these away, and so that's what I did on the last step of the bringing my music up there. I brought a stack of CDs and told them, you could give these away for free, and that will be like what's it called? It will be like when you give somebody not an appetizer, but what's it called? a demo maybe, or a free sample. That's the word I'm looking for. So it's like you could give them a free sample of the CDs that I brought up there, and then say, you know, if you like this music, you can buy the USB drives. So hopefully that helps out. I went through all my notes that I had on here. And that video is called "A Good Tip for Indie Artists That Can Sell Their Own Music." So that means if you can legally sell your music, you could try to do this as a entrepreneur and indie artist. You could do this yourself. Just make your music, put them on USB drives, get them presented right in the jar you want to put them in, get your labels on them, bring them up to it doesn't have to be tobacco place, but you could bring them to a smoke shop, you could bring them to the gas stations, you could bring them, you know, different places. You can bring them. So that basically is all I got on my notes. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and end the video. But I want to say, don't forget to buy a USB thumb drive for me, or a portable radio, which I call them, from my website. And that will be in the description. Also, sub both my channels on YouTube. Follow me on all platforms. Leave a like or comment. And it's been a lot of fun. Dubitdown.